All right. So, yeah, that was a long video. Probably could have cut, what, 5, 7 minutes out of it at least if my camera would focus properly, right? All right, so I left off with these here, and I'm going to continue with that for now. Um, so I don't know. I think the last 12 seconds or so got cut off. So really quickly, here's some rock that I had set aside and I forgot about, and I'm gonna cut like designs like you see here, pillars, boxes, squares, and whatever else I can cut. Hard to see right now because my countertop sort of blends in with that. And when I'm looking at the pieces over the camera, they look great. And then I look at them on the camera, and it's like, this countertop is ugly. And this is an apartment. I would never have a countertop like this. Looks like I'm back in 1975. Ugh. So, yeah, I'm going to do something like this. I'll trim this off like I did some of these, and I will put in the tumbler. And like I said, let me flip this guy over here. Yeah, I like this side here. See how beautiful that is. Imagine having professionally done or learning how to do it and then put it in a pendant. Just looks so awesome with sterling or chrome or something. I don't know. All right, so remember I said this was the size of a football, American football. So when I found this rock, I was like, yes, because where I find this, I'm in far northern California, by the way. So if you ever heard of Mount Shasta, I'm 10 minutes north of Mount Shasta, and I have a place around the corner for me. It's literally only like 5 miles or less, but because I have to go up the mountain and everything, it takes like, maybe 15 minutes to get there. And that's where I find this stuff here. What you saw today, I found that. This I actually found in a drainage ditch. Literally a drainage ditch on the side of the road, a giant one. I think it has something to do with a creek that's next to it. And there's a couple of them. The rock I showed you in part one that I cut this from, one of them. I have two more outside that are even 2 to 3 times the size of the one you saw. And there's even a great one that size that has a lot of this crystal stuff in it, but it was heavy. And I was like, I ain't going to try to walk it up, the embankment with all rocks and get it in my car. And one day if I have a house and stuff like that, I'll be able to do that. Look great outside. Right now they're outside my door and plants in between, they look beautiful. So this material here was found in Medford, Oregon, about an hour and a half from me. And that is a lot of agates, petrified wood, jaspers and stuff like that. Fields, flat fields. They call it the agate desert. And then all in the lake and the creek you find stuff like that. Some amazing stuff up there. All this stuff here. That's a railroad track agate. And it's like one of those clear agates, as you can see right there. But these guys, you can find tons of them. And a lot of them are cruddy, but you can turn them into something gorgeous like this. And again, so this here, and the big guy I showed you there, that one, remember this guy here? And all this stuff, this is a wow found. When I show you what it looks like, just amazing. And this big one here, all around the corner from me. Now, most of the stuff you find always has tons of that crud in it. Remember the big one I showed you, like this guy right here. And this isn't even that bad. And what happens is they're pitted and divoted that you can't really get a good cut and anything in it. I tried on most of them. So when you can come across something that is basically all this material inside and out, it's like, whoa, you just found this. I mean, it's crystal, and I don't know, it's called mono something crystallic form or something like that. But it's actually gem material. It's gem material, and like I said, it might be considered jadeite or nephrite, williamsite, lizardite, itite. I don't know, but it's really awesome. So again, the size of a football. So right here, just in case you're not an American football fan, you're from a different country. This thing right here. So my hand is about, I think my hand from palm to fingertip is like 7 to 8 inches. So this is probably about 9 inches. It was about this size from here to here. And it was shaped like a football, but in the middle it curved like a wave. So now you get an idea. Now as you can see, I'll show you the one side again. Sorry if this turns out to be another 30-minute video, but hey, if you like crystals and rocks and you want to see some of this stuff. So here is, again, not focusing, but you can tell it was like a nice crystally gemmy material with the gummy stuff on. So that was one side of the rock. I'll show you this one again over here. It was a little bit dirtier, but it had enough crystal, and the thing that was huge. Now I didn't know it had that in it, but like this guy here. So this is cut and polished. These are all cut and polished, by the way, and mirrored. That's why you can see that one is mirrored like that. See how beautiful that is? Now that's looking at it without the shine reflecting back, and that's the mirrored reflection. So here I saw that in one of the sections, and I thought, whoa, look at that, like blackishy gray blue. That's pretty cool. And again, that strange gummy texture. When I say gummy, it's like melted, almost like a hard piece of melted gum in the summer that rehardens. That's what it reminds me of. And that's what it looks like inside. Again, it's polished, so it looks like that. And then on this side, it looks like that. Sometimes I sit it on my dresser like that, sometimes like this, and sometimes I like it like that. And again, it's going to be hard sometimes to get you to see how beautiful it is. In the other room, there's more light colored ones that you can see. So I cut all this, and again, the outside of the rock a little bit cruddy, and the inside of the rock different texture. So this is one rock. Now, you know, if you're into rocks and crystals and stuff and the science behind it, first of all, you're out in the woods. These are found in high mountain areas, about 7,000 feet up, 9,000 feet up. Tons of woods, thick woods and everything, popping out of the ground, dry creeks, stuff like that. And when you find something that big that's a gem material, let alone the color scheme, it's awesome. Then you cut it down into this, and it's even more awesome, right? So nature gives it to you. You're out in nature, you love nature, and then you create this. So it's really awesome. And again, here's a good example of the outside and then the inside. So now watch this. If my camera will work with me. So the bottom is like a light green, and it right in here, you can't really see it, but that's a really cool green in there. Maybe be able to see it. And then it turns into that blackish, grayish, bluish with white. But over here, on this part of the rock, on the farther side of the rock, is these colors. These light whites, light greens, clear. Look at this piece. I mean, just absolutely. I'm gonna go like this, and you can see here the more green again. Well, maybe not. Let's see. So when you see these things, to me, it's just like, wow, man. There you go. This rock has all this wonderful design inside it, all this color, and all in one rock. How it picks up minerals during the process and makes all this is absolutely amazing. So really quickly here, look at that. Look at how gorgeous that is. Now I cut this. Now you're saying, well, it doesn't look exactly like a square. Well, first of all, I'm learning, and second of all, the rock isn't a perfect symmetry and everything. So like if I have it here, but it's like this on the saw, it's going to cut on an angle. So that's what it did. And I just flip it and cut it, flip it and cut it. Some will be perfect. Once you get it down, you can angle it a little bit, but some aren't. But as you can tell, it's just absolutely beautiful. Now if I put it down this way, it will show a little bit different. But again, this is solid gem crystal. So a professional would probably take this and make tons of jewelry out of it, you know. And again, it's on 5 on the Mohs scale, so it's hard, but it's not going to just, you can't just like scratch it easily. But you know, it's considered a little softer. Quartz crystal would be a 7. Sapphire, I think, is like an 8. You know, stuff like that. But it's gorgeous and beautiful. And here, I'm going to give this away to my family. Here's one that I cut with a slight angle on a pillar. You'll see in the room, I made all kinds of cool designs. I'll take you in there. So some of this stuff's going to be given away. Now, here's a small version of this. Let's see. And again, these go great in a fish tank too, if you like, although they polish beautiful. This material cuts pretty easy, and polishes really, really easy. And you can see this is absolutely gorgeous, these things. All right, so I won't spend too much time on this. Even this piece, I'm going to give this to my family. We'll see if my parents like it or anybody likes it as rock art, or the little guy will like it. But I think it's cool because I cut and polished the sides and I cut it flat. And then on the back is just like shaving. I shaved it off to cut the rock down so I'd be able to cut all these beautiful shapes and designs. But to me, it's beautiful to see that that's the rock outside. And then this is what I got to do to it. You know what I mean? It's awesome. So there you have that one giant rock. And again, I'm going to make something out of this, and maybe this. I might leave it because you can sit it like that. And then this I'll trim up and make something. And this will go in a tumbler. Now, let's go over here real quickly. So this was my find of finds. The reason being is that I never expected it to look like this inside. What I was expecting was, here's the outside shell. Now, this was actually in a football shape. That one was sort of like an oval that went down and then back up like a wave. This one was literally like in a football shape. If you're familiar with American football, you know a Nerf football for kids. It was a small one like that, but as you can see, it cut some pretty good sizes. So for instance, this is my hand, so that's a pretty good chunk, right? Now, when I saw it, the reason I decided on bringing it and cutting it was because I'm familiar with the leathery turtle skin. But I noticed it had green in it. Usually it's just black or this bluish, color. But this part here is all crystally shining in the sun. And I thought, okay, maybe there's more to it inside there. I wasn't expecting what you're going to see up close. I was expecting maybe some of this leathery stuff inside with the chance of solid green. I would have been ecstatic with just solid green like this over here is swirls of colors. If it would have been all that solid green, I would have been like, yes. And I wish to find one like that still. But when I bring it home, and you can see the shape here, so this was how the rock, like I said, like football shape. Now, that's what it was inside. So when I cut my first piece, I thought, holy cow, this is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely amazing. And there's the mirror shine. Now this cuts easy, so it's softer than this material. If this is about a 5, and I can tell because the way I cut this compared to say quartz or something, and then the way I cut this is easy to cut. So this is probably around a 3.5 to a 4.5. And it polishes so beautiful and so nice, as you can see. And I left this piece like this because I wanted one piece to show off what it looked like and what it looks like inside. Now, I want to do this slow because you got to see what this is made of. It's just, oh man. Let's see here. So, if the dang thing will zoom in here. So, on this side right here is the greenish part that I was hoping for all the way through. Now, it looks like everything is what you would call a gem material. But this stuff here, it almost looks like it's on the outside. It's like a paint splatter. Have you ever seen a paint splatter dry? That's what it looks like. I don't understand what goes on with these cameras, if it's my camera or all cameras. I used to have a tablet. I still do, but it got messed up in the water after several years. I dropped it, and I never had a problem like this. It never, ever had a problem focusing. Oh, there it goes. So you can see this paint splatter stuff that swirls through it. It polished perfectly, and it doesn't seem to be like the gemmy, crystally stuff, but it's awesome. And as you can tell, you can sit this anywhere. You can sit it like this and like this, but I like it like this because you can see all the sides. Now, let's see if I can get... You know what? Let me move some stuff out of the way because this is my pride and joy, and I wanted to show you how awesome this is. And there's a couple pieces I'm going to give away to my family. I hope they appreciate it, or at least the little guy can start building his own collection. All right, so see if I can get these in light. So these were 2 more pieces that I had on the side with these guys over here. And I thought, okay, now that I've learned how to cut this, and I was awesomely blessed to find this one. I found that a long time ago, and I made slabs. Those are slabs. There's 2 in the back, meaning you cut it like a slab, and both sides you can shine. And I left the one side like that. Matter of fact, I had to cut like that so I can shorten the rock to get under my saw. So I had this left over, and as you can see, you saw this right here. That was like what I saw on one side. How beautiful that is. My God, that is just so awesome. The lady downstairs says, "Man, make a countertop out of that. That is absolutely beautiful. Probably too soft. You'd eventually scratch it." But I'm thinking, man, somebody make some professional jewelry out of that. That is so beautiful. And here's the other part of the rock where it's more cruddy. Now, it's not cruddy inside. It's a different. Again, you can see the dark green and the dark black, and then those pieces there, they tend to have whiter and lighter. This side, well, I'll show you in a minute. This side has a little bit of it, and then it goes there. That's why this piece is great, because I got every part of all the rest of them are mostly solid in their state. That one has everything in it. Like, so this one is more white and light. Now I came across this, and even though I can't do anything because it's too thin, I think what I'm going to do, because I'm thinking like my mom or somebody would probably think this is beautiful, but I don't know if she'll appreciate it as rock art. So as it is, I like certain things where you can see the back of the rock compared to this. That way, you know, if somebody comes over or whatever, or your own self, you're like, man, that crud had that. It's just awesome. So what I think I'm going to do with these two identical pieces, matter of fact, they came like this, and then I cut them. I wanted to have extra pieces to send back to the family. Sorry guys, but you're not getting that kind of stuff. I think I'm giving you this one though, so this is really awesome. It's a mini version of that guy. Not so mini, it's awesome. I don't know if Mason should have this. He's too little. Nah, if he likes it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this like that, and on an angle like that. And then I'll polish that side. It will be thin, but it will look cool. It will still look cool. And it will be able to stand up instead of standing like that, even though that looks really neat. It will be able to stand up this way or even like that on an angle. And that will give it more show. And then that way maybe, you know, my parents might like that in the house, or somebody in the family comes down might like some of these as rock art. And I'm going to do the same here. Now this one, I don't know if you can see it. Look right here in front of my finger. It has a fracture mark. So what I'm going to try to do is cut that angle like that, really thin, and then cut like that, really thin. Just like I'm going to do on that one. But this one has both sides, which is cool. And then on that, right now it only stands like that. So I can stand it again like on an angle like that one, or like that. And both sides of this is more lighter. And there's that gorgeous green in the middle there, or the top. So I'm going to do that with those two pieces. And since I just showed you this, I think I'm going to send this to my family. This is a piece that's lighter. So you can see how gorgeous that is though. Absolutely beautiful. I'm hoping this thing will really show you. This doesn't look the same as I'm looking at it. Beautiful though, right? So here's a couple odds and ends. So man, I'll make 3 videos if I have to. I love this stuff. I hope everybody appreciates it. So you can see the mirror shine. It's like a little cube that I cut off, and I left it raw on this side. It was a little bit too small to cut. If I cut it, there's a chance that it won't look that good. So I left it like raw on that side. But again, it's really cool. And when you get the feel of these, like my family doesn't know, but if you get the feel of something like this in your hand, you're like, what is this? This is crystal? This is gem? You know, it's awesome. All right, here's another one. Now this is cool because it has the outside shell, and it has a lot of the green there and the black and everything. It polished excellent on both sides, on all sides. And look at all the green there. Now they're called fracture marks, but they're inside the rock. They just look like they're outside. But these things are kind of brittle, so like if you went bang or dropped it, it's a good chance that it could crack. But they're pretty stable. Here's another one that's cool because the top is left. And I didn't do a good job polishing the top there. Sides came out great, the bottom came out great. And then you can see my fingernail here. The blade must have dug in a little bit, which is weird because this cuts so easy and so perfect. What might have happened is it's thin, and if the blade comes out like that, there's a hole in, you know, where my saw is. So the blade, I run it through, and I'll show you real briefly. And what happens is if you lose a little pressure on your hands, the blade can pull it down at the end, and you know there's a gap, so the blade can run through it, and it might have went like that. So I'm going to try to use the edge of my polisher and get that and redo the whole side, although you can see it came out absolutely beautiful. Not sure if I'm going to keep that for myself or give that away. I think I'm going to decide on one of these two to keep in my collection, because my stuff over here is all smoothed out except for one or two. But I like the brokenness of some of these, you know what I mean? But I will give them some. This is another one I'm going to give them, and this is cool because even though it's a little piece, look at how beautiful that is. And it's got the white and everything. Here's one of the first pieces I cut. And if it will show you here. Oh, come on, I want you to see that green. Like, what I see with my naked eye compared to the camera, oh man. So you see it like right where my finger moves away? There's this glowing green that's different than the lighter green, and it just looks so awesome. And I kept the top like that. So I cut every side except the top. And I cut it a little thin to give it a little bit depth there. This was one of the first ones I cut, and I thought this was cool. Wasn't sure I was going to do this at first. I just loved the dark colors in it and the green. And again, if my camera doesn't pick up, trust me, some of this is darker than the others. And then you get these little patches in it, like there, where it's white and green, and it flares up in this glow, and it looks so beautiful. So anyway, I got that, and this one was a darker piece, as you can tell. And how awesome. Came out perfect. So you can make little stations, like little ancient things, and you can turn it like that if you want to make it look even cooler. Like pillars, you know, like an ancient civilization. So when you put them all together, it looks like that. So I'll move that out of the way. I'll save that one for last. So this is the one that I said is, this one is mine. This one's going to go to the family. And this is a slightly bigger piece. So you can tell skinnier, a little bit different cut, thicker cut all around, a base. This one's a little bit thicker. And what's really cool about this, sorry for the camera jiggling, trying to get the color here. So this is sloping down obviously, but you might be able to pick up like that big square that I showed you over there. This thing slopes on another angle down that way. And again, the reason I don't do that on purpose, there you can see it down a little bit better. So the reason I do that, well, I don't do it. The rock is not 100% when you're trying to cut it. I don't know how I'm going to go about doing that if I want to make things absolutely perfect in symmetry. I kind of like it like that for now. But again, this is absolutely beautiful. Let's see if you can see that. See that? Oh, man. All right. And now this is a tricky one. This is really cool. So I wanted to make like a gateway. And let's zoom it in. So I left the skin on. And then that's the inside. And that's the back side. See that lighter glow in there? How gorgeous that is. And this one's cool because this has a chip in it. And you can see the gemminess, the natural, cleavage. I didn't do that. That was like that. And then that big white spot's pretty cool. So it's like the gateway, and you can set it up like that, or you can kind of turn it when you're displaying it, and you can see both. So how cool is that? Now the best one. This is just absolutely fabulous. So, like I said, it has everything in it. And what I did with this one is I just cut and trimmed off all the crud that was on the outside shell. So you might get a hard view of this, but I'll try to explain it. So remember, it's slanting this way, but it's also slanting that way a little bit. Each side, except the bottom, is doing that. And you can see that green, dark olive green in there, or maybe not, but. And then on the top here, really thin, and it widens. That was difficult to polish, but so awesome. And you can see the color. Look at the colors of this, man. God, I love this. If you felt this in your hand, you'd just be like, wow, that's heavy. And it's bottom heavy, which is really strange. I guess it's condensed at the bottom, but it's super heavy at the bottom. You can just tell by feeling it. It's awesome. And then there's the colors of the glow. So when you're looking at it, it's slanting in different directions. It's got all different colors all over it. It polished beautiful. And where was the other one? Was there another little slant? Oh no, that's on the other Rockin' Air. So you know what this reminds me of? The old school mailboxes Looks like an old school mailbox. But anyway, it's my little awesome emerald green ancient sieve. All right, so now I showed you this as well. Now, before I finish up there, because there's more of these that I cut in awesome shapes, and there's some new stuff in there I want to show you. You know what? I'll finish there, and then if there needs to be a part 3, this will be quickly. One of these is going to go to my family. I'm going to cut that and show you that. And then this is something different. It's considered serpentine, but I think it's called actinolite. If I'm correct, it's actinolite. But what I found out is it's not just reflective. Found out when I found good ones that it's actually crystal, and it's awesome. Now the key is to try to find where I can cut them. As you can see here, this is crystal, and it might not look like it, but it is. And it's reflective on the outside. I don't know what the worth is of this stuff. I've seen actinolite, and but I've never seen it metallic-y like this. It was all like sort of like gemmy, rocky. But I found some great pieces that I cut. As you can tell, there's one side. I'm going to cut this side too, and then there's this one. Now I'll show you that later because I'll put that to the side for now. And so now I'm going to take it in a room, finish on these kind of things to show you how much more that rock gave me. I'm giving some of this to the family. You'll probably get it before I even show you this video, so it'll be a surprise. Hopefully you'll like it. But like I think one of these, a couple of these I'll give you. That I'm going to give you. That guy over there I'm going to give you, and it's pretty cool as well. It's got some great color to it. So we'll see. All right, let me take you in the room. All right. So here's some more. Now, this blue thing is here is because this is chipped away and it looks cruddy. So it didn't look nice. So it looks better on the blue. And this is just here for now until I figure out where I want to display these and how I want to display them. The flashlight's there because I'm going to show you something cool with crystals that you can do and your kids and everything like that. All right, so we'll finish with this. This is from the big football one that was nearest to my refrigerator. And like I said, let me get down here. I got to squat down here, and I got plants here I don't want to crush. So now here's a different thing in the rock. So look at the color that this had. Remember there was the blue and the grayish color and everything. Well, look at this orangey brown. And again, these are all cut and polished. And I like these shapes. So I trim the edge, I trim the natural shape of the rock. And I got this shape. I didn't purposely make this shape. It just came out cool. Every single one that you see is I just trimmed the crut off on angles. And that's what I was left with. I don't know, what is it, like a trapezoid or something? But is that awesome? Or what? That's cool. And there's one in there. I'm going to, like I showed you, I'm going to cut and give away. Here's one like that has lighter color up top, lower color on the bottom. Now I had one of these that I did a double side, and it looked awesome. Then I tried to do a triple side and I messed it up. So I had to redo this one right here to one side. This one's really cool and funky. It doesn't stand on this side, but my lighting is showing it. It's like peach and clear glass right through it. You can actually see through this. You'll see in a moment. So you can stand it in any direction, but this side was a little bit off. And again, I didn't purposely do this. I didn't try to make the design. I purposely cut to get the natural edge of the rock that was cruddy like off of it. All right. So check that side out. Now what's cool about this is you can all these different angles. You see the angle cut there? I don't know if it's a trick of the eye. That's actually an angle. It's not laying on the blue. So you can do it that way. You can do it this way. This side is a little more green. Now what these look like ice. It looks like, say, a frozen ice or something like that with like water trying to trickle through as it melts and frozen on top and frozen on the bottom. It's just so cool. And you can put them any way you want, whatever shape you want. I like it like that. Over here, it's hard to see, but that's a flat top. And on the bottom corner, where is this? That's also a cut. So it's like this odd-shaped triangle. Isn't that cool, though? And again, you can see what I mean about the thickness here. So it's thicker and it goes to thin. Interesting, right? here's one that I cut. Oops, wait a second here, guys. If this camera goes out on me, love you. Sorry for the bouncing camera. I get excited, but at the same time, I got plants and I'm on my hands and knees here. That was just like the other one I showed you. And I pointed in a different direction. It's not the exact same, but when I cut it, it almost came out like that. So again, you could, now you see, remember I said you can see through it? Love you guys. If this goes off, and I'll make a third video, documentary. So you kind of can see how you can see through it. Right about there. I'm going to show you tricks with light. Kids would love it. And then you can shape it that way. And isn't that cool? Because when you're looking at it this way, you see this top here. Your eyes get brought to that and to that point. But when you turn it around, doesn't it seem different? Doesn't it seem like you get drawn to that point and that point like an arrow? That's what's so cool about this. And again, you could flip them over and do whatever you want with them, right? I personally like it like that. All right, let's see. So the biggest one, the last one, if we can get it before it goes out on me here. I gotta move this away. This one's my pride and joy. So obviously it looks like a pyramid, right? And now I got a little bit of thin rubber under it to hold it up so it doesn't tilt downwards. But as you can see, there's that cut down there, and then the cut there for a pyramid, and the cut there for a pyramid. But on the back, it doesn't look like a pyramid. So isn't that cool? Now, on the bottom is that. It's natural, and that is natural. Ah! Hold on one second. I told you I'm on my hands. I'm on one knee. All right. So, remember I was telling you kitchen, it's probably around a 5 or a 6 on the scale. So it's a softer material cut, but it's still hard. So obviously nothing got broke, nothing got scratched. So that's awesome, as usual. Although I have, what's it called? Carpet. But, wow, I'll give you the wide view of that. So that's that one. And again, I love it because it looks like a pyramid. And if this video goes out, I'm going to show you close up with this. You see the green there? And I think you could see some of it in there. But you're going to see it better because the lighting above isn't hitting this right. But you're going to see something when I put that flashlight under these things. So let me just shut this video off and upload it and get the rest of this again. Thank you for watching, and I hope you like it and enjoy it and you're learning something or you're getting interested maybe as an adult or a kid or whatever. And I'll show you my saw too, so you know what you're dealing with. And let me shut this off, upload it, so I can do the rest of this here, and I can show you some other really cool pieces and play with the flashlight and then finish in the kitchen what I showed you. There's a double cut one over there, and yeah, the flashlight is going to show you something really awesome here. All right, love yous. Bye. End of part 2, documentary.